Please remain standing for the singing of O Canada. Please be seated. Members of the class of 2014, parents, grandparents, friends, and colleagues, welcome. Welcome as well to members of the Platform Party, Don Coasso, head of school, Andy Burgess, old boy and chair of the Board of Governors, Link Kaler, old boy, soon to be parent of an old boy, and a member of the Board of Governors, Jim Gardner, old boy, president of the association and a member of the Board of Governors, and Bernard Lesurf, head of the Middle Years Division. I'd like to begin with a quick but heartfelt word of thanks. Under the leadership of Laurie Thompson and Andy Chisholm, this year's leaving class gift amounted to a mind-boggling $345,000. Thank you all for your extraordinary generosity. I recently attended another graduation, a splendid, if somewhat substantial affair. After 1,000 diplomas had been distributed, the Master of Ceremonies then said that the President would offer a reflection, at which point the man sitting directly in front of me audibly groaned and said, "Good Lord." I do not think he was offering a prayer, but his two words had a singular impact on me as I gathered my thoughts for this afternoon, so perhaps your prayers will be answered. If, like me, you are a fan of Puff the Magic Dragon, and I'm not speaking in code, by the way, you may remember the line, "Dragons live forever, but not so little boys." This evening we recognize that simple, bittersweet truth. Members of the class of 2014, you may feel like you're still in the curious Never Never land of Honolulu, or like Mowgli in Jungle Book, you may feel like you're more man-cub than man. But before your odyssey on Lonsdale Road comes to an end, I want to remind you of something Ulysses points out in Dante's Eighth Circle of Hell. After many long years away from home, his men are anxious to return, but Ulysses cannot help himself. He wants to go beyond. He wants to learn what's over the edge of the then-known world. Aside, Ulysses is clearly a UCC kind of guy. He's ignited by curiosity, imagination, and passion. He tells his men, "Brothers, you've endured more than 100,000 perils, and you've now arrived at the western boundary of the known world, where so little remains to complete your understanding of the world. Do not now choose to deny yourselves knowledge of the unpeopled world beyond the sun's tracks. You were never meant to live as brutes." I'm convinced, by the way, that Ulysses attended a boys' school, but one without the benefit of an IDiv or a crib. He ends by saying, you were meant to be seekers of virtue and knowledge. For the ancient virtues had a meaning beyond the narrow definition of today. It comes from the Latin vir, meaning man. In 2014, you almost need to pinch yourself to think about the fact that manhood and virtue were intrinsically linked right from the start. The good news is that Ulysses' speech achieved its desired effects. Dante points out that the men made wings of their oars. Whether you row or not, and as a subscriber to the UCC Rowing newsletter, I know we all should row, I hope your wings will lead you to large dreams, dreams of knowledge and virtue, dreams that will inspire you to make a difference. Know, too, that as a familiar song goes, you do not walk alone. Also venturing forth with you this year is Bernard Lesurf, who began his professional journey at UCC in 1967. We wish Mr. Lesurf and we wish you, the class of 2014, Godspeed.
Thank you, Dr. Power. Members of the class of 2014, parents, relatives, colleagues, and friends, welcome. We will begin this part of the ceremony with the presentation of academic prizes. The descriptions of all academic prizes begin on page 2 of your program booklet. And I would invite Dr. Power and Mr. Lesurf to assist with this task. Would John Lutz, Sam Mandelson, Jasper Kahn, Woody Lau, Chen Chen Tian, Sachin Pasricha, Sam Hodgkins Sumner, Elliot Kaufman, and Matthew Cooper. Gentlemen, please come forward. The Stephen Leacock Prize in English has been won by John Lutz and Sam Mandelson. Sam, I'm going to ask you to circle back, please. The JNC Sharp Prize in Mathematics has been won by Jasper Kahn and Woody Lau. I would ask Dr. Eric Moore to please come up on stage, please. The Dr. Eric Moore Prize in Higher Level Chemistry this year goes to Chen Chen Tian. Thank you, Dr. Moore. The Chemistry Prize Standard Level is awarded to Sam Mandelson. The Finnerty Prize in Senior Biology is awarded to Sachin Pasricha. The Biology Prize Standard Level is won by Sam Hodgkins Sumner and Elliot Kaufman. Matthew Cooper has been designated National Biology Scholar in recognition of his outstanding achievement at the University of Toronto's 2014 National Biology Competition. Well done, Matt. Would Paul Bardia, Brian Dotskas, Jasper Kahn, Hudson Southey-Gordon, Elliot Kaufman, and Eamon O'Keefe. Gentlemen, please come forward. The J.A. Gillam Prize in Higher Level Physics this year is awarded to Paul Bardia. The Physics Prize Standard Level goes to Ryan Dotskas. The Bruce M. Littlejohn Prize in Environmental Systems is won by Jasper Kahn and Hudson Southey-Gordon. The Martin Lambert Wills and Anne Campbell Wills Prize in History, the Americas, is awarded to Elliot Kaufman. The same named prize in European history this year goes to Eamon O'Keefe. Woodmat McKinley, Avnish Moorthy, Joshua Caminiti, Hudson Southey Gordon, Matthew Cooper, Sam Mandelson, and Christopher Taylor. Gentlemen, please come forward. The winners of the Economics Prize this year are Matt McKinley and Avinash Moorthy. The Philosophy Prize is won, The Philosophy Prize is won by Joshua Caminiti. Josh, I will ask you to return to the line, please. The Film Prize is won by Hudson Southey Gordon. The Sainsbury Family Prize in Geography has been won by Matthew Cooper. The George P. Grant Prize for Theory of Knowledge has been won this year by two boys, Sam Mandelson and Christopher Taylor. Sam, I'll ask you to return, please. The University of Toronto National Book Award has been won by Sam Mandelson. The Wed Prize in Classics goes to Joshua Caminiti. The following boys please come forward. Paul Bardia, Jean Dubowski, Amar Kotwal, Eamon O'Keefe, Matthew Cooper, Wesley Mann, Wilder Walker Stewart, Sam Mandelson, Brandon Yap, and Sam Hodgkins Sumner. The international nature of the IB curriculum is recognized in the Moderns Prizes, which acknowledge proficiency in modern languages. Today, we will be awarding prizes for proficiency in French, Spanish, Ab initio Spanish, and in Mandarin. Paul Bardia and John Dubowski win the prize for proficiency in French at the standard level. The prize for proficiency in Spanish is won by Amar Kotwal and Eamon O'Keefe. And for proficiency in Ab initio Spanish, the winners are Matthew Cooper and Wesley Mann. The prize for proficiency in Mandarin is won by Wilder Walker Stewart. The John Howard Prize in Art has been awarded to Sam Mandelson. I would ask Mrs. Cookie Sandler to please come forward and present the next prize for music. The Nathan L. and Ruth Lowe Sandler Music Composition Prize has been awarded this year to Brandon Yap. Thank you, Mrs. Sandler. The Theater Arts Prize goes to Sam Hodgkins Sumner. This concludes the presentation of academic prizes. We will now present the extracurricular awards, and I would like to draw your attention to page 4 of your program booklet, where the detailed descriptions of the prizes begin. I would ask the following boys to approach: John Gilchrist, Sam Hodgkins Sumner, Ian Pika Limashanu, Savani Chopra, Jonathan Green, John Lutz, Sachin Prasricha, Christopher Taylor, and Jasper Kahn. The Robertson Davies Award for Drama goes to John Gilchrist and Sam Hodgkins Sumner. The Andrew T. Wilson Award goes to Ian Pika Limshanu. The Richard Sadler Prize in Music is won by Savani Chopra and Jonathan Green. The Wallace Rankin Nesbitt Prize for Debating and Public Speaking goes to John Lutz. The Harris Prize in Current Events is shared by Sachin Prasricha and Christopher Taylor. I would call Mr. Peter Paul Duvernay to please come forward. The Duvernay Prize in Photography this year is awarded to Jasper Kahn. Thank you very much, Mr. Duvernay. Would Hussein Kara, John Lutz, Eamon O'Keefe, Elliot Kaufman, Alex Chan, Calvin Poon, and Jacob Dobb please come forward? The Ponton Prize for the College Times Fiction this year has been won by Hussein Kara. The Ponton Prize College Times Poetry has been won by John Lutz. The Ponton Prize for College Times Journalism has been won by Eamon O'Keefe. The Willis S. McLeese Prize for Debating is won by Elliot Kaufman. The Barry McCaig Award for Community Service this year goes to Alex Chan. The Randy Carver Class of '82 award this year goes to Calvin Poon. And the Bruce M. Hicks Public Service Award has been won by Jacob Daub. The following boys approach: Matthew Cooper, Ian Pika-Limbishanu, Jared Freeman, Patrick Watt, Sam Hodgkins Sumner, Nicolas Royer-Lejaye, Liam Power, Philippe Martin, Alex Green, and Jasper Kahn. I would ask Mr. Derek Poon to please come forward to present the next award. The Michael Evan Jurist Award this year goes to Matthew Cooper. Thank you, Mr. Poon. The Principal's Art Purchase Prize goes to Ian Pika-Limbishanu. The Bill Stewart Prize goes to two boys, Jared Friedman and Patrick Watt. I would ask Mr. John Thompson from the Class of '88 to please come forward to present the next prize. This year's winner of the Class of '88 award goes to Sam Hodgkins Sumner. Thank you, Mr. Thompson. The Dano Riolini Medal in Athletics this year has been awarded to Nicolas Royer-Lejaye. Would Mr. Robin Logie, Class of 1950, please come forward? The Alexander Logie Medal is established in memory of Robin's father, Mr. Alexander Logie. This year, the medal has been won by Liam Power. Liam, I will ask you to remain on stage, please. Thank you, Mr. Logie. I would ask Mr. Stu Lang to approach the stage, please. We are proud to honor our Lang Scholars from this year's leaving class. They are Liam Power and Philippe Martin. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Lang. The Class of '62 trophy this year has been awarded to Alexander Green. The Lieutenant Governor's Community Volunteer Award goes to Jasper Kahn. It is now my honor to recognize the Duke of Edinburgh Silver Award winners. Mr. Lasser, Dr. Power, if you'd like to take a seat for a moment. Gentlemen, I will ask you to please stand when I call your name and remain standing until I have read all of your names. Guests, I would ask you to please hold your applause until all the boys have been announced. So, please stand. Andre Jayarajan, Elliot Kaufman, Winston Kwok, Joshua Simpson, Douglas Young. These, ladies and gentlemen, are your Duke of Edinburgh Silver Award winners. Congratulations, boys. Now, the Duke of Edinburgh Gold Award. Likewise, gentlemen, please remain standing. The following boys have earned their Duke of Ed Gold Award: Alex Chan, Jasper Kahn, Hussein Kara, Zachary Lecter Sung, Richard Liu, Edric Leung, Eamon O'Keefe, Chen Chen Tian, and Jonathan Zhu. Congratulations, gentlemen. Well done. Now the CAS Awards. Pins were presented last week at the leaving class ceremony, and I am pleased to announce the boys' names. Again, I would ask students to stand when I call your name, remain standing, and I would ask you again to hold your applause. CAS stands for Creativity, Action, and Service. This year's recipients of the CAS Silver Awards are Richard Bresler, Jonathan Brody, Savini Chopra, Matthew Cooper, Jacob Daub, John Dubowski, Ryan Ennis, Giorgio Guvederis, Alexander Green, Sam Hodgkins Sumner, Eric Jong, Elliot Kaufman, Amar Kotwal, Winston Kwok, Zachary Lechner Sung, Michael Lee, Edric Leung, Wesley Mann, Matthew McKinley, Nicholas Mertz, Avinash Murthy, Liam Power, Alex Shamas, Hudson Southey Gordon, Christopher Taylor, Chen Chen Tian, Wilder Walker Stewart, Elijah Wong, Thomas Wu, Brandon Yap, and Jonathan Zhu. Congratulations. Well done, gentlemen. The following students have earned their Gold CAS Award, and they are, and gentlemen, remain standing, please, Manny Gomez Castaño, Alex Chan, Stephen Chen, Nair Ishmael, Jasper Kahn, Eamon O'Keefe, Sachin Pastricha, and Yash Takro. Well done, lads. At this point, I would ask Ms. Elizabeth Mason to please come forward to present the J. Herbert Mason Medals. Mr. Lesurf and Dr. Power, please. The J. Herbert Mason Medals, named for John Herbert Mason, 1827-1911, Ms. Mason's grandfather, honor leadership, strength of character, and moral courage, and were first presented at Upper Canada College in 1888. This year's winners are Sam Mandelson and Michael Moriyama. Sam and Michael, I understand Ms. Mason has more words of wisdom for you at the reception. The Colburn Medal, named after our founder, has been struck and awarded each year to our head steward. I'm proud to announce this year the recipient of the Colburn Medal is, of course, Andrew Callahan. Thank you, Mr. Lesurf. I would ask the survivors to please come forward at this point. Ryan Chu, Richard Hasty, Jonathan Scrow, Alexander Shamas, Douglas Young, Jake Polton, Jack Panzeris, Brandon Yap, Andrew Burkheis, Eamon O'Keefe, Lucas Seymour, John Cummings, Eric Jong, Hudson Southey Gordon, Colin Tatham. And I would ask Mrs. Mary Kelly, who was their grade 1 teacher in 2002, to please come forward and present the survivor ties. This is a special class, a part of our leaving class. They entered the prep in grade 1 and have continued without interruption through to graduation, and they are noteworthy in their perseverance. Congratulations go to Ryan Chu, Richard Hasty, Jonathan Scrow, Alexander Shamas, Douglas Young, Jake Polton, Jack Panzeris, Brandon Yap, Andrew Burkheis, Eamon O'Keefe, Lucas Seymour, Jack Cummings, Eric Jong, Hudson Southey Gordon, and Colin Tatham. Congratulations, gentlemen, and thank you, Mrs. Kelly. This year, the leaving class has chosen Matthew McKinley to speak on their behalf, and I would ask him to come forward at this point to offer his thoughts. Thanks, Matt.
First of all, I got to start by thanking Rob Ford, because no matter what I say up here, I think I'll compare favorably. I'm wearing pants, so I'm already ahead of the game. Thank you, Mr. Kawaso, for the kind introduction. Principal Dr. Jim Power and father of my classmate Liam, head of prep and upper schools, Mr. Don Kawaso, chairman of the Board of Governors, Mr. Andy Burgess, president of the UCC Association, Mr. Jim Garner, and Board of Governors member, Mr. Lincoln Kaler, and father of my classmate Jack Kaler, and other distinguished guests, parents, and alumni. I'd like to say a word of special appreciation to and for the final member of the Platform Party, and that's retiring head of the Middle Division, Mr. Bernard Lesurf. It is a personal honor for me to be able to wish Mr. Lesurf all the best in his retirement. He has dedicated 46 years to the school and generations of students who have gone through it, including, I might add, my 2 older brothers, who have nothing but positive things to say. Surely makes for an unequaled record of skilled leadership and selfless service. Be it as a head of school, a wily soccer coach, a superlative French teacher, or a friendly presence in the halls, your kind words and guidance will be greatly missed. Thank you, Mr. Lesurf, and all the best from the class of 2014. In thinking about the content of my as yet unwritten speech, I had the bright idea to take a look through the Dr. Power book of winning speech writing strategies. Thankfully, that book wasn't very long. Don't tell him I said this, but Dr. Power is a bit of a one-trick pony. The one page in the book had the words, "Give them a story and 3 takeaways." Unlike Dr. Power's traditional structure, I'm going to give you my 3 takeaways right from the start. Ladies and gentlemen, they are to 1, look back, to 2, look around, and to 3, look ahead. I don't mean to look back at the clocks at the back of the gym and calculate how long you have to wait for your post-graduation martini and air conditioning, or whether you're going to get home in time to feed your hamster, or to look around and see if anyone's nodding off, or even to look up at the podium. Look back at the unforgettable experiences we've had together thanks to this school. Look around at your classmates, families, and teachers, and appreciate the special relationships we've formed during our time here. And look ahead to the future, and think about how you can put everything that this school has given us to its best use. Having thus exhausted Dr. Power's extensive list of speech writing tricks, I found myself in need of someone else's ideas to borrow. Seeing as I'm representing the UCC class of 2014, I decided to canvass my classmates for their memorable moments and memories through an anonymous survey. I received many responses. Some were inappropriate, others were wildly inappropriate, and still others I had to look up on Urban Dictionary. You know who you are. I thought that there could be no better way to look back on our time at UCC than to share some of these memories, as well as my own, with all of you. We've had some exciting times. I still remember the birth of the Blue Army in year 2 and our very first pep rally, led by our founding generals Chris Griffiths and Connor Taylor. The same Blue Army that cheered on our sports teams to amazing successes, whether it's varsity tennis's 9-peat dynasty, to soccer's 3 CISA titles and national championship in the past 5 years, to the football team's multiple big CISA division title wins, and many others that I can't mention. Chanting Aurora and various other less than appropriate phrases may not be exemplary sportsmanship, but I like to think a strong rivalry is only possible in a place where school spirit is even stronger. And we've had our fair share of non-athletic excitement as well. Our Model United Nations and debating teams have both risen to new levels of success, winning international competitions and really putting UCC on the map as a public speaking powerhouse. Our students have experienced a great degree of individual success in these activities, but the real victories come as representing UCC all across North America as a group. Looking back, we've struggled with some of life's greatest mysteries. To this day, I'm still trying to understand why one day at lunch, a year 2 walked into the lower dining hall carrying a baby, and then proceeded to sit down with his friends like nothing was different. We were all puzzled by the mysterious disappearance of Tavo Runim. Surely he went on to bigger and better things, most likely without Mr. Batley's guidance. We've had our bursts of creativity. I'm no theater buff, but it's obvious the work that went into our stage productions, from American Buffalo to Twelfth Night, to our very own Sam Hodgkin Sumner student-directed Paradise Lost, were truly outstanding. Our bands are another huge part of our community. Whether it's the Wind Ensemble's classical melodies, Senior Jazz's funky tunes, or my personal favorite, Brandon Yapp's Green Day tributes. And how could I forget the pinnacle of the class of 2014's creative talents, and that's Alex Kotzer and Shamas's rap videos. Those were fantastic. We've had our stressful times, laughing during the French exam because of the mysterious whistling bandit, laughing nervously in the HL chemistry exam because of how exhausted and scared we all were. If there's one thing the IB program has taught me, it's the value of a good night's sleep. It's also revised my definition of a good night's sleep to mean 4 to 5 hours, but that's beside the point. We've also had our share of classroom fun, whether it's prep guidance classes with Miss Parody and her friends, to Mr. Scatoza's perfection of classroom puns, or Mr. Hutton's numerous identical, and I mean identical, lectures about how we all think we're king of the world. We've had our share of outside of the classroom fun as well, whether it's productive exam studying in the bomb shelter or spending an absurd amount of time sitting at the back table in the LD in front of the politically correct mural. The number of memories we've had at this place approaches the ridiculous level, and they're dominated by positive ones. I actually asked in my survey what the students thought was the worst thing about UCC. Aside from 10 or 11 mentions of Fish Tuesdays, the worst we could come up with was a distinct lack of girls and proper air conditioning. I'd say that's a pretty good sign. In my mind, the best summation of the memories that I hold, and that I hope all of you hold, of our time at UCC came through the responses of the class when asked what the most surprising thing about the college was. Some responses were a little less than heartfelt, One student expressed his surprise that we don't get charged every time we use the bathroom or open a door with our student card. But some were very sincere. Boys were pleasantly surprised by the warmth of the teachers and how much they really care. They were surprised at the amount of fraternity that we all feel, despite being an environment that many would think breeds intense competition. Some were simply but poignantly surprised at how much they'll miss it. In my mind, this represents how we, the class of 2014, should look back at our experiences at UCC. On the surface, it's a long series of distinct memories and events that we can look back and laugh at all we want. But all of these isolated memories have come together to form bonds and relationships to people in place that are some of the strongest and most meaningful I've ever felt, and will certainly miss upon leaving these halls. Keeping in mind the memories from our look back, I now invite you all to look around. Personally, I've been a UCC boy since I was in grade 4. Many of my classmates, as you just saw, have been here since the beginning of their schooling. When you're at a place for this long, sometimes change can go relatively unnoticed. So look around at the people seated and standing around you in this gymnasium and appreciate how much they've all changed for the better as a result of their interactions with each other and with the school. Students, look at your teachers and how they've changed from talking heads in front of chalkboards to mentors and friends. Look around at your classmates and how you've formed strong relationships with each and every one of them. And look around at the school and how it's changed for the better around us. Teachers, look around at this group of guys. It's not long ago that we were laptop-absorbed, immature, and irresponsible year ones. Now we're immature, irresponsible, and equally laptop-absorbed old boys. Scary, I know. Parents, look around at your boys. Be proud of them for doing so well and making it this far. It really is a huge accomplishment. While looking to the past and the future is important, it's also important to appreciate the moment. Don't get so caught up in the emotion of leaving this place or the excitement of the next stage of our lives that you miss looking around and appreciating everything the school has given us, from friends, relationships, and role models to opportunities and skills to last a lifetime. For the parents in the audience, I promise I'm not trying to solicit donations when I tell you all now to think ahead. Look ahead to your son's own future, but also to the future of the college. The place is changing around us for the better, whether it's boasting an extremely improved financial support package, an ever more diverse student body, renovations to facilities and classrooms alike, and increasing success of clubs and teams from sports, Model UN, debating alike. Classmates, as UCC matures and develops in the future, so will we. So look ahead to your own futures as well. The next few years of our lives will be unlike anything we've ever experienced before, and we should all be excited to be standing on the doorstep of this next stage. As I look through the doorway into the mysterious and often intimidating beyond, I know I'll be able to walk through the storm with my head up high because of everything UCC and all of you have given me. No matter what we do, no matter which path we choose, the way this school has shaped us, the way these teachers have shaped us, the way our parents have shaped us, and most importantly, the way we've shaped each other will allow us to succeed. For that, I will be forever grateful to all of you, but I'd like to thank a few people in particular on behalf of our graduating class. To our families, for your unwavering love and support through good times and bad, and for paying the bills. Thank you. Thank you to the faculty and staff of the college, to both those with us today and in memoriam of those who aren't. You go far beyond the call of duty every day and show a genuine level of care and support that we could not appreciate more. And the biggest thank you of all goes out to my classmates for placing your trust in me. It's been an absolute honor to represent you on this podium. Thank you for making our time at UCC so unforgettable. Oh, and thanks to all the girlfriends and or boyfriends in the audience. We know dating a UCC boy is definitely not easy. I promise we're worth it. There's a motto written on the left breast pocket of all the students in the audience. It reads, Palmam qui merit ferat. This translates to let he who merited the palm bear it. While I'm all for individual achievement, I don't think this motto really does the leaving class of 2014 proper justice. So I decided to make my own. In my mind, it's much more applicable for this amazing group. I'm probably about to completely butcher this pronunciation, so I'm going to apologize to Miss Erb in advance, and shout out to Josh Caminiti for translating for me. It reads, Palmam omnes simul qui meruent ferat. It means, let all those who have merited the palm bear it together. Gentlemen, over the years we've spent at this amazing institution, we've all merited the palm, and now it's time to bear it together with pride and confidence for years to come. Congratulations to the class of 2014, and thank you.
Thank you, Matt. I feel so inadequate. Many of our students who attend UCC come from abroad, and even those who attend from Canada face additional challenges over and above the demanding IB diploma. In many cases, they are living far away from home for the first time and studying the diploma in a language that is not their native tongue. Bilingual diploma holders take this exercise one step further by studying more than one language at the A or first language level. And I would ask the following students to approach: Christopher Amoa, Jonathan Berube, Louis-Charles Généreux, Philippe Alexandre Martin, Frédéric Paquette, Guillaume Pelletier Boisvert, Nicolas Voyer Legaré, Sean Gong, Jasper Kahn, Jonathan Zhu. Gentlemen, come forward to receive your bilingual leaving class certificate. Congratulations, gentlemen. Outstanding effort. Well done. At this time, I would ask the Assembly to rise for the school hymn, which you will find in the last page of the program booklet. Thank you. Please be seated. And now we present the leaving class of 2014 by the principal, Dr. Jim Power, the chair of the Board of Governors, Mr. Andrew Burgess, the president of the Upper Canada College Association, Mr. Jim Gardner. Each boy will receive his UCC diploma and a UCC Old Boy tie and a special gift from the UCC Parent Organization. The gift from the parent organization will be presented by PO President Neera Chopra and incoming PO President Barbara Bottini. We will begin with Seton's House, as is our tradition. I would ask Mr. Gareth Evans and Mr. Adam Ross to please come forward.
On behalf of the Setons and Wedge Senior House advisors and graduates, I would like to sincerely thank the boarding faculty and staff for their dedication to our boarding program. Your efforts and commitment are truly appreciated. It's now a pleasure for Mr. Ross and I to introduce the 2014 leaving class for Seton's House. Parents, family, and friends, please hold your applause until all graduates have been introduced. Sean Chen, Taipei, Taiwan. Sean is a proud young man who can be described as creative, independent, and strong-minded. For many, his most impressive attribute is his unyielding desire to follow his own path, or uncanny ability to frighten his housemates by imitating a dog's bark while hiding in their closet. Sean is always willing to listen and consider different perspectives, but also makes it clear that he's comfortable doing things his own way. Louis-Charles Généroux, Montreal, Quebec. Our head of house and a young man who is described as respectful, considerate, and reliable. Despite an accident on the soccer pitch that resulted in a horrific compound fracture to his right leg, Louis courageously battled on and continued to lead by example. Whether it was actively supporting house sports or simply lending an attentive ear to his younger housemates, Louis could always be depended on. Max Lemay, Quebec City, Quebec. Many in the house know him as Father Max, and as a member of the varsity hockey team who enjoyed the physical aspect of the game and loved to play on the edge while on the ice. However, I also know Max as a young man who focused on developing a mindset that is less judgmental and more introspective. Max is the first to credit his close friends in boarding with encouraging his transformation. John Lutz, Nashville, Tennessee. An internationally recognized debate champion, respectful and intelligent. These are the words that come to mind when I think of John. He has successfully managed the rigor of the IB program while also making a lasting impression on his housemates with his quick wit and talent for wearing a Seton's t-shirt for days on end. It's always a pleasure to talk with John on a variety of issues, since his insights are very enlightening and thought-provoking. Justin Sadler, New Albany, Ohio. As a 4-year veteran of Seton's House, Justin is well respected for his exceptional time management skills, unwavering work ethic, and passion for sport. As a captain on our varsity hockey and baseball teams and a member of our prefect group, Justin could always be relied on to advocate for his peers and make a positive impact with his leadership. However, maybe his most endearing quality is his selflessness and ability to think of others before himself.
Jacob Dumas, Timmins, Ontario. Another 4-year member of Seton's House. Jacob always has a polite disposition about him, and this rubs off on everyone he meets. At the same time, he's one of the fiercest competitors in the house sports scene, and I wouldn't want to get in his way battling over a loose puck. Thank you, Jacob, for your tenacity and passion. Mateus Ferreira, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Always up for a good conversation, Mateus is one of the most candid and honest boys I've come across. Mateus was always willing to try something new and put himself out there. I am most thankful for Mateus's guidance and welcoming nature to the younger boys in Seton's House. Sean Gong, Montreal, Quebec. Sean stepped up this year as a leader and prefect in Seton's. He led by example throughout his 2 years here by achieving his academic goals while staying balanced. He accomplished this by being a key member of the varsity football and rugby teams. Sean will be remembered for his mature and confident attitude. O'Neill Halstead, Toronto, Ontario. O'Neill has grown into a fine young man over his time at UCC. He is one of the most polite and respectful boys you will ever meet. He has made all of us at UCC very, very proud, not only by persevering through adversity early on, but by excelling in both the classroom and on the courts over his time here. I cannot say enough about how proud I am of O'Neill and wish him the best of luck. Calvin Poon, Hong Kong. Calvin has grown tremendously over his 3-year career. He has overcome adversity as well to become a tremendous leader in Seton's House. Calvin is also a very accomplished photographer and was a captain of the varsity swim team this year. Calvin has certainly made us proud during his time here. Derek Poon, Montego Bay, Jamaica. Always a good friend of the boys in Seton's House. Derek is a fine role model for the younger students in the house. He was a fierce competitor on the house soccer pitch and even sacrificed his collarbone for the house this year. His passion is much appreciated. Guillaume Pelletier Boisvert, Montreal, Quebec. Guillaume is one of a kind. He is the most humorous guy in the house and one of the most loyal of friends. He's always willing to make others laugh by telling a good joke or by hiding in their closets and jumping out at people. Additionally, Guillaume persevered through injury and was a valuable 3-sport varsity athlete this year. Harris Sheldon, Pelham, Ontario. Harris is a passionate athlete, student, and friend. He dedicates himself fully to any task he puts his mind to, whether it was training in the SAS, being a world-class rower, or dominating at FIFA on the Xbox. Thank you, Harris, for your passion and commitment over the past 2 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the leaving class of Seton's House for 2014. Can I call up next Monsieur Baudouin and Dr. Baxter from Wed's House?
Dr. Baxter and I are proud to introduce the 2014 leaving class for WEDS. From Chibougamau, Quebec, Jonathan Berube, the most easygoing young man WEDS has seen in years. A quiet leader who always enjoys a good laugh, he has been a member of the varsity hockey and golf team in his time here. A pure francophone from way up north Quebec, I commend Joe for his resiliency and efforts in succeeding through the IB program. From Godrich, Ontario, PJ Conlon. PJ is a 4-year member of WEDS and the varsity hockey team, the latter a rare and tremendous feat. Prefect in WEDS, captain of both the varsity hockey and tennis teams this past year, PJ's legacy and influence will live on well after he graduates. From North Bay, Ontario, Graham McPherson. To have watched Graham arrive in late September as a Year 2 student to now has been an absolute pleasure. His maturity, self-awareness, and social-emotional intelligence are second to none. A jiu-jitsu champion and future MMA star in the making, he certainly won't need to fight too hard for success in life. From Quebec City, Quebec, Philippe Martin. No doubt, Phil's passion and desire to succeed will be sorely missed by all the boys in WEDS. Phil is the outgoing heads of WEDS, recipient of Stu Lang Scholarship, and invaluable member of the varsity football and rugby teams. Bonne chance, Philippe, tu vas nous manquer énormément. All the way from Toronto, Brandon Park Lee. Another 4-year member of WEDS. He has always brought a sense of excitement to our house, a good jog in the park, and tons of laughs. Member of cross-country and JV hockey teams, he was also a recipient of prestigious Barrow Scholarship. Brandon will be long remembered for his camaraderie. De Saint-Nicolas, Quebec, Nicolas Royer-Légaré, the quiet general. There's very little Nick has not done in his limited time here at UCC. Prefect in WEDS, a passionate actor, a 3-term athlete and invaluable member of the football, hockey, and rugby varsity teams, along with winning the Deno Riolani Medal in athletics. He has been a role model for all. Dr. Baxter.
Chris Amoa, Montreal. Star of the football field, Chris could be forgiven for being the strutting athlete around the boarding house, but chose instead to be a friendly, gentle presence. His easy smile, humility, and work ethic have set a great example for his peers. Anton Buchser, Geneva, Switzerland. A three-year Wedite, Anton's a quietly confident, unassuming, and personable. Talented artist and a regular contributor to house sports, he thrived in his independence, successfully managing his workload, skillfully navigating the challenges at UCC. Manny Gomez, Colombia. A scholar athlete with an artistic side in film, Manny is enigmatic, independent, and ambitious. His story is one of resilience and determination. Arriving as a refugee in Canada via the US, he has seized his opportunities, pursuing and achieving his lofty goals. Jasper Khan, Hong Kong. An outstanding student, prefect, and treasurer of the Board of Stewards, he was also a hard-working goalkeeper and a talented school and house photographer. Jasper could be the best organized student and the lowest maintenance boarder of all time. His calm, reassuring presence will be greatly missed. Frederic Paquette, Quebec City. Smart, laid back, and stylish, Fred is a talented athlete and an amazing artist. He was a JV hockey all-star and varsity cricket's power hitter. His work was a highlight of Nuit Bleu. He's a budding architect and has the best decorated room in boarding by far. Fei Wu, Shanghai, China. Ti Wu has been with us for 3 years. In that time, he's probably been WED's most frequent visitor to the assembly stage. Math prizes were always his for the taking. However, such success came at a price, as he required 3 wake-up calls every morning. Jonathan Zhu, Hangzhou, China. Always dependable in the pool and on dry land, Jonathan was a varsity swimmer, lifeguard for boarders pool time, and a regular evening hoops. He was a friendly presence around the house and always had an open door for his fellow students. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating WED's leaving class of 2014. I'd now like to call up Mr. Tong to introduce the graduating class for Bremnes.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of our dedicated advising team, I would like to introduce you the 2014 leaving class of Bremners, starting with David Aquino. Always smiling, David was proud of his perseverance and resilience with his learning. He was a valued member of the varsity soccer team, bass player in the jazz band, and involved in the Horizons program. Ryan Chu. An avid swimmer, Ryan has been a member of the UCC swim team since grade 5. He is a 2-time OFSA champion and part of the relay team that set an OFSA record. Ryan was also on the Ontario Model Parliament Executive. Andrew Clinton. Andrew is proud to have advanced to the OFSA cross-country championships this year. An avid tennis player on the varsity team who has had an amazing time with his friends. He looks forward to continuing these friendships well after graduation. Matthew Cooper. Matthew will always remember the great experience he had on the community service trip to Ecuador. He is proud to have been a member of the varsity soccer team and the Free the Children Club. He has enjoyed his friendships and getting to know all of his teachers. John David Duvernay. John David, JD as he is known to all, balanced the demands and rewards of his UCC academic and athletic experience with his alpine ski race training and competition. When he wasn't participating in house sports, he was likely racing down mountainsides throughout North and South America and Europe. Liam Gill. Liam contributed to a variety of activities in the upper school, head of the Free the Children Club, and executive for 2 years for the World Affairs Conference, as well as a member of the rowing and hockey teams. Zachary Lechner's son. Zachary has enjoyed the friendships he has made throughout his years in the upper school. He was a founding member of the Breakdance Club back in year 2, a peer tutor, and involved in the Horizons program. Sam Mandelson. A new boy in year 2, Sam quickly made his mark in Bremner's. He was a prefect in the house and was in charge of the AV booth at every assembly and event in Laidlaw Hall. He was the editor-in-chief of the College Times, and we will miss his enthusiasm and creative ideas in the house next year. Nikhil Menon. A new boy in foundation year, having moved from Singapore, Nikhil found the adjustment to his new school challenging but greatly rewarding. Vice captain of the varsity cricket team, head of the Mathematics Society, and director of the UCC Junior Mathematics Olympiad. Nicholas Mertz. Nicholas was a new boy in year 2 and quickly made lots of friends. He was an alto sax player in the senior jazz band and also played in the Humber College 5-person combo. He will always remember his last performance at this year's jazz night. Ian Pika Limbashianu. Artist extraordinaire, actor, and our head of house, Ian's enthusiasm and fresh ideas have totally rebranded Bremner's. His set design for the production Paradise Lost will be remembered, as well as his art exhibit at Nuit Bleu, which was literally out of this world. Ben Porter. Ben was an enthusiastic member in the house by participating in house hockey and soccer. He was a valued member of the varsity rugby team, and artistically, he was very proud of his sculpture in the art show. Cole Reynolds. Cole was a Bremner's prefect and proud to have balanced his co-curriculars and academics and still have time to socialize with his friends. He will always remember winning the championship on the JV hockey team, as well as playing on the soccer and golf teams. Andrew Spear. An insightful young man, Andrew has enjoyed his friendships and proud to have confidently tackled the IB. He has shown perseverance and determination. He has an insatiable appetite for debate and loves to spar with anyone on any topic. David Spear. David enjoyed being a Bremner's prefect this year and helped to organize our very entertaining house meetings. He was a proud member of the Model UN Club, where he was the Under-Secretary General for the conference. Chen Chen Tian. Chen Chen was another one of Bremner's prefects and a tutor leader in the Horizons program. He was a valued member of the varsity badminton team, and we will miss his virtuoso piano playing at assemblies. O'Dane Trujillo. A member of my last form in the prep school, O'Dane has demonstrated tenacity and resilience in his learning. He is a contemplative young man who has enjoyed his friendships and proud to have been a member of the varsity soccer team. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the Bremner's class of 2014. I would just like to have a quick shout out and extend a special congratulations and farewell to all of the boys from the last RT form at the prep school back in 2009. I would now like to call up Ms. Bina Evans to introduce the boys from Howard's.
On behalf of the Howard's team of House Advisors, I would like to congratulate and introduce to you Howard's 2014's Leaving Class gentlemen. Paul Bardea, a clever and reliable technician behind the scenes. The AV at music night, arts nights, and morning assemblies runs smoothly with Paul in charge. In his spare time, he works with the Computer Science Club, Engineering Club, or sometimes relaxes with the Mahjong Club. Andrew Burgeis, a young man who understands the value of hard work and commitment, both inside the classroom and especially on the tennis court. A 5-year varsity tennis athlete, Howard's House prefect, and junior varsity soccer player. Jeff Carroll, warm, welcoming, funny, and often sporting a genuine smile. Jeff is a man who regularly uses humor to have a laugh with his friends. His mascot face left an everlasting impression long after Winterfest was over. A prefect in Howard's House, varsity basketball player, and a real charmer. Jacob Daub, a gentle and amicable Howard's man and stellar varsity swimmer. Jacob believes in giving back and was actively involved with Horizons, the Random Act of Kindness Club, and the Gay Straight Alliance. I will miss our great chats while we ran during the track and field season. Ryan Innes, cheerful and good-natured, a man who always treats his friends with sincerity and teachers with respect, thereby earning the admiration of all those he comes in contact with. Member of the History Club, DECA, the Cooking Club, Horizons, and Free the Children. Never lose that infectious smile, Ryan. James Flint. On the varsity football team as a senior this year, James noted this experience as being one highlight while at UCC. As a hard-working and self-reliant young man, he did not let opportunities pass him by. Along with being a prefect in Howard's House, a varsity baseball player, James can also boast about being a champion dodgeball player. Tristan Hopper, our English chap, thoughtful and inquisitive, the type of lad who challenges his peers to think deeper and therefore keeps the boys on their toes. Actively involved in history, classics, Ontario Model Parliament, and debating clubs, and was also the editor-in-chief of the UCC Blue Page. Andre Jayarajan, thorough and academically driven. Andre has a quiet demeanor with a keen sense of humor. The smile on his face sometimes left his peers wondering what was really going on in his mind. A clarinet player with the Wind Ensemble, member of the Model United Nations, and also the Ontario Model Parliament. Winston Kwok, conscientious and ambitious. Winston excels as a varsity swimmer and academically, while also remaining our quirkiest Howardsman and dedicated professional gamer. Heavily involved in clubs as a member of the DECA Club, Model United Nations, Ontario Model Parliament, and a World Affairs Conference Director. Jake Levin, a talented athlete on the varsity baseball and soccer teams. His goaltending in the fall helped lead his soccer team to the CISAA championship. A jokester and a prankster when it comes to getting his TTC pass. Richard Liu, gifted, ingenious, and versatile. Richard is an exceptional classical violinist, despite his listening preference for Korean pop music. Involved with both the string and wind ensembles since his IDIV days, and co-head of the chess club. Jack McDonald. Composed and cordial, Jack has a strong sense of responsibility and strives to do his best without ever complaining about the task at hand. He exceeded his own expectations on the varsity cross-country team and was instrumental in raising awareness about the Free the Children charity. Michael Moriyama. Passionate and the charismatic head of Howard's House, a selfless and caring varsity hockey teammate who just happened to score the prettiest goal of the entire hockey season versus Detroit Catholic, varsity lacrosse player for 4 years running, and a zealous Blue Army supporter. Carter Nord, a prefect in Howard's House, new to UCC in year 2, he has been a constant presence ever since, a thinker, planner, and a doer. Carter successfully balanced a rigorous rowing program with a challenging academic load. He was always willing to lend a hand to his peers and maintained a positive outlook on school. Jack Penziris. As a sports fanatic, Jack loves watching, playing, analyzing, and reading about news in the sports world. He looks forward to pursuing his passion at university by studying management and the economics of sport. Member of the JV hockey team and a good friend to all. Abel Zakiris. Arguably our most spirited Howards man, and prefers to be remembered by his peers as the funny one. Described himself as a little rascal who loved his time at UCC, and he will cherish the many memories made with his buddies. Varsity basketball player and member of the Entrepreneurial Club. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2014 Howards leaving class. I'd now like to call upon Mr. Matt Grimm, the Senior House Advisor for Jackson's.
One last time, Jacksons, ahoy. Ahoy! On behalf of the advisors and the community in Jackson's House, I present to you our members of the leaving class. Matthew Boo. Matthew is easygoing and a leader in his own right. He provided solid leadership in the blue and white and on the house softball team. He has a knack for bringing out the best in others and encouraging them to get involved in the community. Jack Cummings. Jack was active in his badminton at his racket club and enjoyed canoe trips with his camp. He also enjoyed his work at the food bank. He is thankful to all of the teachers who have helped him over the years. Tyler Farrell. Tyler is a thoughtful student with a passion for track and field. He's an outstanding and humble athlete, and also a scholar that I have no doubt will achieve great things in his lifetime. John Gilchrist. Friendly, open-minded, and dedicated, John's commitment and passion to theater has been outstanding, and his impressions of teachers are now legendary. He was a reliable prefect and a strong supporter of Jackson throughout all of his years at UCC. Sam Hodgkin Sumner. Sam is good-natured and approachable. He has diverse interests ranging from tennis to the Best Buddies Club to theater. Sam's passion and commitment shine through in all that he does. He is a role model who genuinely cares about other people. James Jin. James is passionate about his academics and is an utterly dedicated student. Always thoughtful and creative, James thoroughly enjoyed his involvement in house soccer, cross country, and the Blue Notes. His good character is appreciated by peers and teachers alike. Alex Kotzer. Alex is supportive of others and diligent with his commitments. He was involved in the Entrepreneurial Club and the Community Service Council. He also is proud of founding the Dodgeball Club this year. His kind and amicable nature endears him to all of his friends. Matt McKinley. Matt is an outstanding and well-rounded student. He showed excellent commitment and leadership as a prefect, in Model UN, OMP, and in cricket. His thoughtful, calm, and charming demeanor will ensure that he is successful in whatever career that he chooses. Dan Poyle. Caring and sensitive, Dan is always up for a good conversation and has a wealth of knowledge to share. He has an impressive co-curricular record, participating in Free the Children, the Dodgeball Club, varsity rugby, and varsity football. Will Potto. Will is a bright young man with a debonair smile. An enthusiastic athlete, he participated in 3 varsity teams this year, including soccer, basketball, and lacrosse. Always a pleasure to talk to, Will is a social and amiable friend. Henry Powis. Henry has grown, both figuratively and literally, quite a bit over at his time at UCC. He is a team player and a very good athlete. He showed excellent sportsmanship and team leadership in house soccer and has been a solid contributor to our community. Tyler Robinson. Tyler had an excellent year at UCC, having thoroughly enjoyed varsity soccer, house hockey, and he very successfully managed his IB courses, particularly in the sciences and economics. He is well regarded by his peers and is a trusted friend. Clark Stodgel. Clark cherished his role on the football and lacrosse teams. As head of house, he demonstrated the ability to connect with all of the students in the house and showed great enthusiasm for house sports. He'll be remembered as a good guy with a great heart. Colin Tatum. Colin is good-natured and inquisitive. He participated in a wide variety of activities in his time at UCC, including house soccer, golf, and his favorite, the mountain biking club. His philosophy class will fondly remember his good-natured banter with Tristan Hopper. Kingsley Ward. Kingsley is a well-rounded athlete who participated in several teams this year, including varsity lacrosse, JV hockey, and soccer. He is diligent, thoughtful, and approachable. Kingsley's calm and ever-present leadership as a prefect in the house was always appreciated. Taylor Wasser. An engaged and respectful student with a competitive spirit. Taylor was a mainstay of our house sports teams and was particularly passionate about house hockey. Taylor's diligence, drive, and determination will make him successful in anything he chooses to undertake. Austin Weiler. Austin's friendly and approachable manner has made him a real beauty, in the words of his friends. His favorite achievement was beating SAC and winning CISA for varsity football. He is an enthusiastic and affable student. Ben Wheeler. Ben is a dedicated student with a great sense of humor. He has a natural inclination for economics and was head of the investment club. Ben is most proud of his involvement with varsity lacrosse, and rightfully so, since it was the first team since 2006 to beat SAC. Alex Sau. One of the most diligent prefects at UCC, Alex is a kind and caring mentor to younger students. Alex was both active in the swim team and wind ensemble. He is thoughtful and inquisitive, and all of Jackson's appreciated his quirky sense of humor. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the leaving class for Jackson's House. I would now like to call up Ann Kay, the Senior House Advisor of Martland's House.
First, I'd like to welcome to the stage Mr. Lincoln Kaler, who will join Dr. Power to congratulate the remaining graduates. On behalf of the advisors of Martland's House, I present to you this year's graduates. Andrew Callahan. As this year's head steward, Andrew has been an enthusiastic leader and team player, whether it was speaking before the school community at assemblies or playing on the varsity football and basketball teams. He brought a grace under fire approach to each activity. Jack Kaler. Jack was at his best when involved with the joy and thrill of physical training. His passion for rugby drove him to lead the Rugby Sevens Club and help others reach their fitness goals in the gym. His relaxed and humorous nature will serve him well as he goes on to study business and, of course, play rugby this fall. Julian Dime. Julian is best known for his personal demeanor and ability to walk around in casual, albeit stylish dress. In Martland's, he brought his best efforts to ensure the success of both house soccer and hockey teams. His passion for travel will surely bode well for an exciting and exploratory gap year. Jared Friedman. As one of our star prefects and recently elected class president, Jared's contagious energy and spirit served as inspiration to the younger boys in the house. Contributions to the varsity football team, house hockey, and softball, debating WAC horizons exercised his generous and kind nature. Jeffrey Gilbert. Jeff's kind and respectful disposition has allowed him to charm most teachers and peers. The theater program was a highlight of his career at UCC, where he took risks and exercised his creativity. We were always delighted to see him participate in house sports as he charged the games with his fun-loving spirit. Richard Hasty. His humble and unassuming nature would lead one to believe that he was a wallflower. Nothing could be farther from the truth, as he was super involved, playing key roles all over 200 Lonsdale Road. Most notably, an ambassador for new families visiting UCC and a member of the varsity swim team. This UCC survivor, with an impeccable attendance record at assemblies and house meetings, will surely be missed. Eric Jong. As another UCC survivor and fellow swim team member, Eric felt that his most noted highlights were French class with Mrs. Lowndes, tutoring the youngsters at Horizons, and his role in the production of Twelfth Night. He looks forward to meeting new people and studying science out east this fall. Jay Coellet. Jay was a key member of the varsity soccer team and a devoted house basketball player. His favorite academic moments were in Latin and economics classes. After graduation, he looks forward to traveling through Europe with his friends. Liam Power. Complementing a keen approach to his studies, This year's academic steward demonstrated a passion for all things varsity while at UCC, football, basketball, and baseball, all the while taking time to contribute to the community through peer tutoring Horizons and singing with the Blue Notes. Grant Roth. Possibly the most voracious member of Martland's house basketball team, Grant is best known for his sense of humor and the colorful outfits he sported around school at all times of day, somehow avoiding detection despite his enviable height. Lucas Seymour. As one of Martland's 5 UCC survivors, Lucas's memorable one-liners entertained his teachers and peers in class, online, on the ice, and on our March break trip to Italy. He will undoubtedly continue to explore his passion for hockey for years to come. Hudson Southey Gordon. As a survivor, Hudson's role as head of house was certainly the cherry on the cake of his UCC experience. His favorite times were spent in film and theater, both classes paving the way for further studies and a career in the motion pictures. James Tugman. One of Martland's prefects, James improved his quality of life as a member of the senior jazz band, as head of the improv club, and as a veteran parent-teacher interview monitor. Mr. Holt is very proud. He will miss his friends and hopes to stay in touch as he goes on to study commerce next year. Yash Tukrel. Always one to offer a warm greeting and a smile, Yash supplemented the academic side of school life by participating in WAC OMP Horizons peer tutoring and heading up the Sports Analytics Club. Yash and his harem pants will be missed. Wilder Walker Stewart. A student who never shied away from an opportunity to contribute to school life, Wilder wore many hats, participating in Reach for the Top, MUN, the Mandarin Club, Senior Jazz Ensemble, peer tutoring, WAC, among others. His love of languages will certainly serve him well in the career of his choice. And finally, Douglas Young. As our final UCC survivor and prefect, Douglas is known for greeting anyone who crosses his path with a giant smile and pat on the back. We hope that he will find time to play some basketball as he embarks on a busy career in medicine. Please join me in congratulating the boys from Martland's House. And now please welcome McHugh Senior House Advisor, Ms. Ost.
On behalf of our dedicated advising team, it is my pleasure to introduce the McHugh's 2014 leaving class, beginning with Julian Boyman. Always smiling, Julian was a committed member of all house sports teams. He put his heart into each game and was highly supportive of his teammates. We will greatly miss him, and in particular, his positive and balanced nature. Thomas Chisholm. Our reflective and mature sustainability steward, Thomas was committed to improving the UCC experience of his peers. His thoughtfulness, wit, and charm have contributed to his ability to develop lifelong friendships throughout his time at the college. Thoro Colucci. Head of the cooking club, Thoro made lasting memories while preparing delicious food. Kind and appreciative, he was extremely passionate about the house and the relationships he has made over the years. Ryan Dotskas. Ryan's enthusiasm and compassion brighten the lives of all those to whom he is connected. His approachability and giving nature make him a top choice for peers and younger students seeking guidance. Jean Dubofsky. Committed to OMP, Model UN, WAC, debate, and a number of other academic clubs, Jean took full advantage of all of UCC's offerings. He thrived in these clubs and was also an important contributor in the classroom. Jonathan Goldberg. Jonathan's leadership skills contributed to his success as the Model UN Vice President and Conference Head. He was the passionate sports editor for Convergence and a crucial member of the house hockey team. Emil Kanji. Few will forget Emil's pivotal soccer goal to clinch the CISA championship this fall. We will also remember his outgoing and lighthearted nature, his consistent smile, and his big plays as McHugh's goalie. Christian Keating. Our head of house with a heart of gold, McHughes thrived under Christian's leadership this year. He channeled his athletic passion and leadership into house sports and his role as manager for the varsity football and rugby teams. Michael Lee, co-founder and head of the Computer Science Club, Michael expressed his creativity through programming. In this club, he developed lasting friendships and helped younger students find and develop a new interest. Avinash Morthy. Avinash was an upbeat and organized prefect who thoroughly enjoyed his time at UCC. Our racket sports star, he made strong contributions to and loved being part of the squash and tennis teams. Kian Nanji, CISA soccer gold medalist and a proud member of the golf and house hockey teams, Kian shone on a variety of terrains. As head of DECA, he experienced a high level of success and developed lasting friendships. Justin Poe. Justin brightens days and creates smiles with his kindness and great sense of humor. He flourished in his role as prefect, designing and implementing original activities that created greater cohesion and tighter bonds within McHughes. Christopher Taylor, director of OMP, head of WAC, editor of Convergence, and an outstanding debater, Christopher is a natural leader. It was extraordinary that he was also highly devoted to McHughes as prefect, house trivia king, and house sport enthusiast. Patrick Watt. Our Blue Army general and a prefect, Patrick combined his passion for sports with his inspirational qualities to improve student life. He is hardworking and an extraordinary rower who also dominated house sports. Brandon Yap. Musician extraordinaire, the UCC community was privileged to enjoy his talents on many occasions as he was a principal member of numerous bands. McHughes' sole survivor, he will miss the Norville trips and his supportive friends. Andrew Zhang. Andrew has left his mark on this school by creating a competitive robotics club. As head, he led the group to a victory in their first ever competition and inspired students from all grade levels. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the McHughes leaving class of 2014. I would now like to call up Mr. Mario Storino, the Senior House Advisor for Mowbrays.
On behalf of the entire Mowbrays advising team, it is my honor to introduce to you the 2014 leaving class for Mowbrays House, Joshua Appel. A charming and engaging young man, Josh has left his imprint on a number of programs here, including the JV hockey and lacrosse teams. He was a captain of the JV hockey team this year, which captured the league title. Josh was also involved with the Green Club and Horizons program. Richard Bressler. A quiet yet determined young man, Richard has spent his time here at UCC taking part in a number of activities, including the cross-country and squash teams, Best Buddies, and the Chinese service trip. Michael Cardiff. Michael is a friendly and honest young man who truly loved being part of Mowbray's House. He actually showed up to most house meetings and advisory group sessions. His true love is golf, but he also found time to take part in the Chinese service trip and help out with Model UN and DECA clubs. Stephen Chen. Stephen has always been a very thoughtful, engaged young man. He was a prominent member of the varsity badminton team, as well as playing a leadership role at both World Affairs Conference and the OMP clubs. Giorgio Govideris. Giorgio arrived here from our rival St. Andrews College. Despite some early trepidation, Giorgio quickly became immersed in school programs such as squash and soccer teams. I would say in the end that he was glad that he made the move to UCC. Robert Guo. Robert is a young man that we will never forget. He lives life with great enthusiasm and humor, and he's a budding fencing star, taking his time to introduce his school and housemates to the sport of fencing in assembly and house meeting. A future Olympic appearance may be on his horizon. Jonathan Huang. Solid as a rock, Jonathan was a cornerstone of many groups and activities during his time at Upper Canada College. He was engaged with the wind ensemble, swim team, chess club, and quiddity, where his quiet yet reliable contributions could always be counted on. Nair Ishmael. Our head of house, Nair's story is truly amazing. Joining our community late, Nair was able to utilize his kind and engaging demeanor to rise the ranks of the tennis and squash teams, not to mention being elected head of house. He was also very successful with his involvement in DECA, where he traveled to Anaheim to compete. He was a great head of house for us, to whom we owe a great deal. Amar Kotwal. Our import from New Jersey, Amar took some time to adjust to his new community, but after some time he was able to find his niche as part of the Engineering Society and Science Club. He also took part in the Ecuador and Peru service trips. Alexander Lebuick. Alexander did everything with a smile on his face. He is a truly talented and committed member of the football and basketball teams. He also found some time to participate in the DECA Club. Alexander is a great kid whose enthusiasm and positive energy will be missed. Woody Lau. Woody, too, was a latecomer to us here at UCC. He made the most of his time taking part in the Math Society and the Mahjong Club. Woody was also generous with his time helping others abroad as a member of the Ecuador Service Trip. Jake Polton. Jake simply is a quiet, honest, and thoughtful young man. He was engaged in a number of programs, including the Green School Club and the Chinese service trip, but his true passion could be seen in the pool, as he was an integral piece of our very successful swim team, which captured a number of championships. Stuart Richardson, one of our prefects. Stuart did his best to quietly lead his peers throughout his stay here in house activities, as well as school-wide commitments. He was a valued member of the varsity volleyball and basketball teams during his time here, and even tried his hat at JV football. Joshua Simpson, another of our prefects. Joshua just did it all. He was busy contributing each and every term here at UCC. He has been an important piece in our very successful football and rugby programs, where his hard work and quiet leadership helped his teams enjoy great success and championships. James Tucker, probably our most enthusiastic prefect. James, from day one, lit the house on fire with his energy and true love for Mowbray's House. He brought his passion and commitment to a number of teams during his stay here, including the football, rugby, and hockey teams. James' enthusiasm will be missed dearly. Strawn Wilson, our fourth and final prefect. Strawn leaves UCC a very liked and respected member of our community. He immediately became engaged in school life here, and in the end made huge contributions to the football program, as well as the Model UN and OMP clubs. And Aiden Yang. Aiden just joined our house this year as he moved over from the boarding community. Captain Chill, as he likes to be known, is an avid and very accomplished rower, despite starting the sport only 2 years ago. Though his time with us was short, it has been memorable. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2014 leaving class from Mowbray's House. I'd now like to call Ms. Timmis to introduce the leaving class from Orr's House.
On behalf of the entire ORS advising team, it is my honor to present the class of 2014 ORS leaving class. Jonathan Brody. Top swimmer, Jonathan Brody brought his love for sports to UCC by starting up the Sports Analytic Club. Always in top shape, he impressed us all by winning the house push-up contest and entertained us with his fantasy football league. Joshua Brofman. Josh has enjoyed his time in Orr's House and loved playing house basketball and soccer. His most memorable experience was participating in the Best Buddies Club, where he enjoyed working with his mentee over the course of 2 years. Joshua Caminiti. Never at a loss for words, Josh is the only member of our House who has received a DCI for dressing too well. He will be known for his eccentric sense of humor and his ability to debate others until they are exhausted and give up. Justin Chai. A very active volunteer with Horizons, Justin spent a great deal of his time at UCC helping students from local public schools. He's enjoyed the friends he's made here and is ready for the next stage. Savane Chopra. A very busy guy, Prefect Savane was an active member of several musical groups in our school as our expert drummer and president of the Music Council. He was also chair of WAC, a Blue Army General, and loved golf, OMP, and DECA. Joshua Gold. National level swimmer, Joshua's OFSA and CISA medals are almost too numerous to count. Some of his fondest memories of the house include oars paintball and shoe wars in the locker room. Namaste. Austin Haber. Prefect by day and aspiring debater by night, Austin Haber was always passionate about everything he did. Be it on the soccer field, the lacrosse pitch, or Model UN, Austin always gave his all. Eric Henshaw. You can walk a mile in his inner city shoes, but you could never understand his inner city blues. Love you, Mom. Okay, I didn't write that one. Okay. Hussein Kara. With a calm smile, Prefect Hussein was always able to make everyone in Orr's laugh. He treasures the friends he made here, growing up in Orr's house, and being able to try different things and find his passion. Elliot Kaufman. Our debating king, Elliot Kaufman, was a member of the Canadian national team and finished second in Canada at the national finals. He loved being an Orr's prefect, and his fondest memory is also the shoe wars in Orr's locker room, which I was previously unaware of. Obviously a dangerous place to be. Wesley Mann. Watching Wes grow up over the years has been a true pleasure. He's loved his experience in the house, playing volleyball, and taking part in the Best Buddies program. Eamond O'Keefe with 2 Fs. The true house trivia king. When I first met this young historian, he proceeded to give me a full lecture about Canadian history for over an hour when we were on the bus going to Norval. Although history is his first passion, he still found time to participate in multiple things around the school, including WAC and Model UN. Dylan O'Reilly. An active member of our varsity football and rugby teams, Dylan was also truly passionate about his role behind the camera. He loved working with his film production partners to create something special. Alec Riley. Orr's final national level swimmer, Alec has managed to maintain both a high academic standing as well as committing to a grueling practice schedule, and he's done all of it with style and grace. Emerson Ross. Head of house, Emerson has been a spectacular role model and leader in the house this year. His passion and dedication to all things Orr's included creating hilarious games, as well as producing the first Orr's belt buckle. These will be hard shoes to fill. Fabian Watt. You could always count on Fabian to come to every event with passion and a smile on his face. A valued member of the GSA, track and field, as well as the star in our house basketball team. We have all enjoyed having him in the house. And he wrote here on the sheet that he was my favorite. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the Orr's class of 2014. I would now like to call up Mr. Jeffrey to present the boys from Scattings.
And these are the boys from Scottings House. Nick Agnew, an adventurer who seeks out wit and the company of good friends. Nick has come a long way from the reticent young man I met in first year. We will miss you next year, Nick. Alex Chan, our community service steward and resident breakdancer. Alex is a man of action and knows how to get things done. His housemates will miss the special house meeting snacks catered by him. David Cottingham, a Scottings prefect, David was reliably there to support his house. A confident young man with a strong presence, we will remember his performance at Remembrance Day service. Josh Cinnamon, the younger half of the dynamic Cinnamon connection. We will certainly miss Josh's command of the house hockey team and all he brought to Scottings House. Alexander Green, our creativity steward. Alex was more than creative and entertaining in assembly. The only IB2 at assembly during exams, he was there to support the incoming creativity steward in his first assembly. That was Alex, always supportive. Jonathan Green, our head of house, a consummate leader. Jonathan had many ideas and saw each one through to successful completion. Always upbeat, he helped bring out the best in those around him. Edric Leung, curious and engaged, Edric attacked the intellectual challenges with the same zest as he did on the badminton court. A risk taker, he proved he is game for new challenges. Sachin Pasricha, a Scottings prefect, Sachin has a reputation for being of solid character. Learning and developing as much as he can from any situation is his modus operandi. Cam Seville, a Scottings prefect, Cam understood the importance of being there for his younger housemates. As a mentor, he was careful and thoughtful in the advice he gave. Jonathan Scrow, an all-around solid character. Jonathan brings the spark to any group he joins. He is engaged, interesting, and funny. We will certainly miss his energy next year. Alexander Shamas, our guitar strumming social steward. Alex has a knack for managing people and making them feel comfortable and worthy. Cole Thompson, our communicator, thinker, and debater. Cole always enjoyed a good intellectual rumble. He will be missed in the Model UN next year. Andrew Williams, cool under pressure. Andrew is someone you want on your team when there is much at stake. We were very fortunate to have him on the Scottings team. Elijah Wong, finding his niche in foundation year, Elijah immersed himself in the out-of-class program through college times, film, and technical crew. And we really saw him grow. Matthew Wong, a Scottings prefect, Matt exemplified all we hold as important character and leadership traits. He leads by example, and he certainly has been a terrific model for his younger brothers. Ladies and gentlemen, Upper Canada College graduates 2014.
Thank you, Senior House Advisors and graduates. We'd like to take a moment to recognize all our faculty and staff whose efforts have made today's ceremony special and the reception to follow, especially Ms. Lorraine Fernandez in the Principal's office and Ms. Sandra Fulford in the Academic Dean's office. Thank you also to our parent organization, to your gift for the leaving class, and for the beautiful floral arrangements that adorn the school. My thanks also go to Tyler Vandervelden, Ben Mahan, and Ryan Sheehy for their assistance with prizes today. This concludes our leaving class ceremony. Graduates, please Please remember to pick up your personalized copy of your College Times and the Quiddity literary publication in the front hall in the front foyer. I would invite all guests to join us in the Massey Quad for a reception. And our guests, if you would remain standing until the platform party, our prize presenters, and our graduates have left, I would appreciate that. Gentlemen, leaving class 2014, I would ask you to stand and sing for the last time, You'll Never Walk Alone.